Royce Unchained. We get to see the Vikings play against a different colored jersey tomorrow for the
Oh,
first
yes.
time.
Did anybody
We get
use
to
that
hit someone
cliche?
else, Pat.
The different colors. Yes, our third teamers get to hit somebody else. How many is it because we're starting the quarterback? Is the whole offensive line starting except for Darisaw? Are we going to start the regulars, Judd?
They're going to try to, but the new center, Ryan Kelly, has an elbow injury that I think is going to keep him out. So
Okay.
you're deprived of the center quarterback combination.
Well, those long snaps got to his elbow, right? What the heck's that? That's a bad thing. We don't want to start getting our offensive linemen hurt right away. Come on, let's go here. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, I would like to see. You know what I was gonna try to do? Figure out how many passes Fran Tarkington threw in exhibition games. And I
Oh,
think I think he had one injury at the end of his career. He broke a didn't what did he break? Judd? He had a broken
Broken leg
ankle,
against the Bengals.
broken leg. He got a
Yep.
broken leg at age 38. Beyond that, he
God.
played them all pretty much. I was trying to figure out how many. Probably what 500, probably at
You know
least.
what? What I didn't know, Pat, until I saw the highlight last night, that Joe Namath, when he destroyed his knee, right? It was in an exhibition game in 1971.
Yes,
That he
right
was
after he was the god of football then after they won the Super Bowl, right?
the
So,
running back fumbled a handoff deep in Jets territory in a preseason game, and Namath went and tried to make the tackle.
and you know what else is amazing? They were playing all these exhibition games on baseball fields
Yes,
that
oh,
yes.
by the first game in September they had it looked like a pit, just if it rained or something. It's unbelievable the condition of fields back then when these everybody who played baseball back then already should get absolutely twice as much credit as these guys because you never knew when it was going to hop up and hit you right in the chin. It's unbelievable what fields they played on. But yes, I think that the fact you have the quarterback, even if he's only in there for 10 plays, at least that's going to be a talking point for everybody. And we're trying to draw conclusions. And I've been faithfully following Judge's daily reports on whether he's right now. I haven't decided whether he's looked good or bad from reading your reports, but you like his arm better than some of the critics do, right? You think he's got plenty
Yes.
of zip on the football. So
Yes. Arm strength's not a problem.
okay, that was who decided it was early on. That was there was like
it's weird. Yeah, there's
yeah,
these weird sort of national narratives that I think people equate he didn't throw the ball much at Michigan
yes,
to him being incapable of throwing the
yes,
ball at a
yes.
high velocity or something. It's like I know
Yeah,
he's
the fact that he had a quarterback coaching him, a guy who used to be a quarterback who didn't like to see passes, had something to do with that. I mean, if Harbaugh had his choice, yeah, you'd throw 8 passes a game and run it down everybody's throat. That's one. And let's face it, he they didn't want him taking a lot of chances because he was playing with one of the great defenses in college football history. So he can't be judged by that, and you know it's not Christian Ponder, that's for sure. I don't think it's Christian Ponder. That you were lucky to get this guy at 10, and we were desperate to get Christian at 12. So that's how that worked out.
yeah. Old Christian didn't quite have the infrastructure. Who were he had like old Greg Jennings as his number one receiver, but that might have
Yes,
been a
right.
couple years
That was
later
later.
too.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
was Christian Ponder's number one receiver in like 2011 or 12?
Wow.
Michael
Oof.
Jenkins?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then
Yeah.
Les
Yeah.
Frazier, nice guy, but a defensive
Percy.
minded coach.
Percy was still there. Percy was
That's
there in
right.
11
Because
and
Percy
12.
said, I'm done with
Yeah.
this guy
Yeah.
in Seattle, got in the screening match.
Well,
Yeah.
Percy was, plus he never practiced on Wednesdays, so that was another thing. You couldn't get anything done on Wednesday because
Couldn't build chemistry with him.
Percy had a
No.
headache. That headache was We still don't know what he did to cure the headache, but we don't. I don't think they wanted to know.
I think we
So,
have a pretty good idea of what he
He's
did to
talked
cure
about
the
it.
headache.
I
but
think he said he played every game high. Yeah.
Yeah.
you bring him up though. He's a Hall of Famer if he wasn't an idiot. He was fantastic.
He's like a better Debo Samuel.
Yeah, I mean, he's just amazing, but he's just an idiot. He didn't get out of the airport his first time he came up here for his press conference. He tied J.R. Ryder for being late for his press conference. So it's, but you're talking about a period there. When you look back at this franchise, I've always said the two qualities are wide receiver. They've always had wide receivers, and they've always had defensive linemen. Yeah, those have been their two biggest qualities, and that probably is the biggest nadir they ever had as far as wide receivers are concerned. That early 2010s,
It
the
is.
Les Frazier era. So they've always had good ones.
In fact,
Going back to Paul Flatley, for goodness sakes, in the early years when a possession receiver could be worshipped. So
by the way, their second most targeted receiver in Christian Ponder's rookie year was Devin Aromashadu,
huh?
who he was targeted 84 times and only caught 26 passes.
That's insane.
That is insane.
That's insane.
And well, you know what's insane? I've never heard of him. He was their second receiver.
He was with the Bears, right? Wasn't he? Came over from the Bears.
Yes, he caught the winning touchdown pass in overtime at Soldier Field in 2009 to beat the Vikings, and I think cost them the top seed.
Yeah.
I could not spell his name if you spotted me, the A and the R at the end of
I
it.
covered him and I couldn't spell his name, Pat.
What? Yeah.
He was a seventh round pick out of Auburn. Did he play with? No, he was before Cam Newton. He was before Cam Newton at Auburn. I thought he might play, but yeah, it's a ARO.
AROMASA. I don't know.
Oh, you're close. SHODU.
Boy,
Aromashadu.
there's not many wide receivers you can throw at me that I don't have some familiarity with that caught some passes, but I cannot remember him, man. I must have been phased out on Sundays back then, not watching.
It was a
many
dark
other games.
era, and then the
Yeah.
next year, 2012,
Was
is
awful.
when they brought in Jerome Simpson from the
Say,
Bengals. Do you remember him? He's the one that called
kind of,
Tom
a little bit.
Pelissero Tom Presso.
Say, was that when did we start the where we could watch the highlights of the game? When did that start? The highlight, we can watch the highlights of all the games and the big thing, and the rather than watch the game, we can just
Like
watch
Red Zone?
Red Zone. When did we start Red Zone?
15 years ago?
Did we start Red Zone? We must have had Red Zone then. And I must not have been watching much Viking games because I can't remember that. I must have just been watching Red Zone, waiting for the Vikings to get to the 20, and they never got there. So, less this year or not. So, I was not terribly familiar with that team, as it turns out. So,
I don't think a lot of people were, in fairness. That was also 2012 was the year where they just said, let's give the ball to Adrian Peterson 370 times and let him do his thing.
September 13th, 2009. Red Zone, the greatest day in television history.
2009.
2009. I did not
man.
realize it was that old.
That's great. Hey, what's O'Connell's record been in exhibition games?
Well, he was like 0 for 9 or 0 for
Oh,
10
really?
until they won that game. Was it the Raiders? Was it the McCarthy game that they won? The Raiders
So
game?
he didn't kick ass in the exhibitions like Denny did. Then Denny was a monster in the exhibition games, wasn't he? We had an incredible record with Denny in the exhibition games. What am I paying for the exhibitions? Is it full tariff? It's just part of the package? 10 games?
I don't even know now.
10 games?
Yeah.
Because I mean,
I don't know.
because they have gotten ridiculous that you never get to see anybody, and I don't know that I always used to say that that the exhibition games were good for the young, the nieces and nephews, the young ones who advanced Christmas presents where they got their tickets. Hey, here's your tickets for the exhibition games. But do people show up? Do they get 50,000 for exhibition games or not? Or is it
Yeah,
it's
they
like
they don't
normal?
they don't fill it like
No,
in
I think
it
terms
they
of
fill it.
depends.
head
You can
count.
get in. You can get in upstairs for $20. You can even get lower level tickets for $50.
If
But
you're looking
buying,
to see the stadium and just
yeah.
watch some football, it's a good little discounted way to get in for sure.
Yeah, but it is astounding. Were you the one that told me that, Phil? Were you saying that they baseball had like some featured attractions on and some exhibition game, Hall of Fame exhibition game, beat them in the ratings? Somebody told me that the ratings kicked
The
the
Hall
hell
of
out of any
the Hall of Fame,
baseball
yeah,
game. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So you Trey Lance
It was
beat
Trey
everybody.
Lance starting. What do you
Yeah,
expect? Of course, it's a big
yeah,
show.
watch Trey Lance.
Yeah, well, baseball too. If you want to broaden it out, so ESPN told Major League Baseball a few months ago, hey, we're gonna go ahead and cancel that partnership after 35 years. And meanwhile, baseball is looking over at ESPN as they bring in the Golf Simulator League for a season.
Yes.
They do a WWE partnership where they're going to run all of the WWE big events,
Okay.
and they're
Hey, what is this sport now that they're having that's a combination of there's a sport now that's a combination of baseball and bat. It's some goofy new sport that's two different things. If you the ESPN, it showed up on ESPN the other day. I didn't know what it was. They were playing two
Banana
different.
ball?
Yes.
Was it the Savannah Bananas?
Yeah, what is that?
It's like Harlem Globetrotters meets baseball.
Is that
I
what
think that's the
that?
best way to describe it, right?
yeah, the
Yeah, that's
Savannah
the
Bananas
one.
are the
That's
Harlem
the one.
Globetrotters.
That's the one. I turned it on. I said, "What the hell? What is this?"
The
It's
Savannah Bananas pack stadiums. They literally sell out like football stadiums. They
and
sold out. I think they sold out Clemson Stadium earlier
so
this
what do
year.
they do?
Camden, yeah.
Comic baseball then,
Yeah.
or what is it?
So Pat, they have an A team, which is like the Savannah Bananas. They are their A team. Then they also have like basically their own minor league affiliates, like their AAA team and these lower tier teams.
What
Pat,
is wrong with this country? We're
they were
crazy.
the B
Yeah.
team was in downtown St. Paul last Saturday to play
Okay.
at CHS Field, and Lower Town was as packed as I have seen it pre-COVID. I mean, people everywhere and dressed up in neon colors and pink and all sorts of stuff. It was as crazy as I've seen Lower Town
Hey, well,
since
what
the
is the
pandemic.
game though? What is the game?
It's
I
it's
hit a
it's
ball.
like
I hit
baseball.
a ball to shortstop, and he throws it between his legs, or what the hell? What do we do
It's
here?
Yeah,
like
they do some
showboat
goofy stuff.
baseball, right?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
yeah. It's like they're the Globetrotters, pretty
Hmm.
much.
Oh, hey, by the way, I want to give you my report on Bradley. I got there at noon for a 110 game, and an hour and 15 minutes later, I wasn't able to park and drove back to Golden Valley. Have you been downtown St. Paul, fellas?
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. It's
It's
yeah.
As
bad.
I
I feel
said
like it's
this,
always kind of a disaster, but
I said this though, you know, obviously there was a lot more horrific things going on in Berlin in 1945 when the war ended. But the streets are pretty much couldn't have been much worse than they are in St. Paul right now, trying to get from point A to point B in Lower Town, and then nobody will take cash when you want to park because they're too cheap to have some guy standing out there for $12 an hour. You got to fill out about a form with your life statistics on it to park. And I finally said, "Go get him, Taj. I'll get home and watch you on TV here the last three innings." So
so you don't have the downtown St. Paul parking app on your phone that
no,
you
no,
fire
I
up.
do not have that because I usually when I go, it's later and there's not as much traffic around as it was. But God, what a screwed up place.
Couldn't you get the ramp? There's a ramp
Ramble, yeah, that was
not far
full.
from there where
That
you
was
just
full.
pay with your card.
That was full too.
Oh, okay.
Summary.
The
I mean, it was
surface
an
lot.
app.
Maybe I'm telling everyone my secret lot for Saints games, and now it's ruined. But the surface lot that's next to the Gopher Bar is typically where I go, and it's
That's
usually about $10 or $15, and
that has
it's
been mine
solid.
too, but it was full.
It was full. Oh,
That
wow.
has been mine too.
Oh, afternoon.
And
Yeah.
it was an afternoon game.
I've had this problem before too. Yeah.
Yes. So I gave up. Anyway,
But you
Taj is,
tried.
we're going to see Taj pretty soon, though. He threw pretty good. I got home and saw the last 3 innings. He threw pretty good.
The
So.
Twins had just kind of feel refreshed in the last 7
Yes,
or
You
8
should
they
days
scout
do,
for the
back.
you know.
Twins. I didn't go, but I think he's good.
Well, no, I watched him on TV. That game was on TV. For like, I watched 3 innings. He was, he was okay. But their starting pitching is going to be better. Well, you get Pablo back, but their starting pitching is going to be we talked about this the other day, but their options are going to be much greater. They're going to have 3, 4 other guys to run out there, and but I don't know. As I've calmed down here the last week, I think it makes the season more interesting, don't you?
It
The
does.
last 2 months. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
curious as to okay, who can this guy play? Who's gonna? The other thing it does is it opens up the possibility. I would think that their hotshot prospects next spring might get a chance to make the club,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I don't know. It's I was just reading Mark Wicker's got a Mark Wicker's he's one of those sub stackers and he does great stuff. The Cardinal thing is unbelievable. They're not terrible, right? Their attendance is down. Last year it was down 200 and some thousand. This year it's down 400,000 from
Really?
last year. Yes, nobody's. Their average is 28,000. Until last August, they had never had a crowd under 30,000 announced anyway
Wow.
in
Yeah.
Busch Stadium. Their attendance is the
They
people,
were, I
man.
mean,
I don't.
for decades, from
Oh,
like
that.
from the late night. Well, when they moved into the new stadium, which is I think a 40,000 seat. Well, no, they've had, yeah, it's been 40,000 fans a game or more.
Yeah.
Until last year, it dipped down to 35, and now it's down to 28. And it's the only
Yeah.
show in town, so there's
Yeah.
no
Right.
NFL to compete with.
And the other thing is that they, I mean, they're not terrible. What they get mad at? They got mad at. I guess that they're not trying hard enough, or that they. I don't know what they're mad
They
at.
don't love the manager. I remember when I was there for opening day and just talking to some locals, they don't love the manager. They don't like him a lot.
I haven't been there for 10 years, but I was shocked. I was with a individual who drank beer, and they were charging like 12 or $13 for a Bush 10 years ago. What's wrong? Bush at Bush Stadium should be $6, shouldn't
Yeah.
it? What the hell? I don't know. But
Especially when you have bad like, let's take the Twins for example, and you've brought this up a few times. This would be a perfect time for the next 2 months.
yes,
This is the lowest average attendance in 25 years for the Twins.
mm-hmm.
Instead of charging $14 for a craft beer, and you'd have to get your vendors to agree to this too.
Mm-hmm.
What if you cut all the beer prices in half and the food prices in half? Do you think more people would actually show up for the last 2 months of the season, or would they just take a bath on the discounted concessions?
I told St. Pete that 50 times. The best PR you could do was cut the beer price by $4. Start charging instead of 14 or 12 or something. Charge 8 for a can of regular beer and 10 for a other one. But what they do is they sell their soul to the concessionaire, right? And the concessionaire then sets the prices, and they don't have any control over them apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I got to tell you my George Stoll story.
Yeah, let's do it.
George Stoll, the great Stillwater coach, won 4 straight titles. He died yesterday at 86. And he was a character and a big, a promoter. And he kind of brought the veer to high school football around here. But when you have the 3 fastest guys on the field, you can run the veer or you can run anything else you want to, because he had great athletes all the time, quarterback and everything. So I go out there for their opener one year, and I'm not sure if it was their season opener or the home opener. And George, I tried to find it, and I can't, but George had gone to Ireland with a bunch of high school players from around the country and coached an all-star game. And George was very taken by this idea. So opening night, hot night in Stillwater. He's down there wearing a duster, one of an Irish duster, and he's got all these Irish songs playing. That's music and the whole like everything but a shillelagh, and he's wants us all to know he was in Ireland. And then they got their ass kicked by, I think it was Anoka. They just got drilled, and they hadn't gotten drilled in years. And so I think I was at the Trib then. I'm not sure, but I wrote about this new Stillwater coach, George O'Thole, is in big trouble, and they better be. They're not going to put up with this Irishman much longer out here in Stillwater. They better get back the old guy. And I thought it was pretty funny, George. I got 20 reports. George is really mad at you. George did not like the fact that I needled him about being
Was
George.
was his sarcasm or satire meter a little off, or was
Oh
he
yeah,
just
well, I think George was he was used to winning, and he was a high ego. I mean, a good guy. I liked him. He was a character, and he was on our. We had the prep show there, right? Wasn't he one of the guests on it? Didn't we have the Friday night prep show there for a while, giving out football scores? And he was on that for a while, and then after he retired, and he school board out there, and he was always he was a real character, but he didn't like the needle. I can tell you, especially when he was winning. Yeah, I think he won 4 straight titles, and the and they hired him from Castleton, South Dakota, I saw, or North Dakota, and he had never lost a game when he got hired at Stillwater, and then he ended up, winning 85% of his games in Stillwater. But uh, you know, George, he didn't like George O'Thole out
he
there.
didn't like George O'Thole? Didn't like
No,
them. Just a little,
yeah, just a little tease,
just a little needle. Some
yes,
people just don't like to be needled. Some
and that's
people.
true. That's true.
You know.
Uh, all righty.
Well, Pat,
What
enjoy the
else?
preseason game tomorrow.
I will.
Twins are home here this weekend, so we'll see. Are
Hey,
people going to welcome them back with open arms? Are they going to boo?
are they just not going to be there? One of the two. Hey, Judd, though, tell me, maybe you know, why are we playing all these afternoon exhibition games? That's kind of 5 years ago. They were all night games.
I know. I love this. I have no idea why, but it's
I
I
think
great.
know.
it's TV. They're trying to spread it
Just
out
keep
for
they just
TV
spread it
Good.
out.
purposes.
So,
3 o'clock is. I love that.
that must be it. Oof. Well, how's the air conditioning work in there? I hope it works better than when they first opened them.
Oh yeah, no, we're fine on air conditioning.
Yes, good. Okay. All righty,
All right.
gentlemen.
All
See ya.
right, Pat. We'll see you next
I'm
week.
heading to the
Royce,
ball yard. Who's going to the ball
I'll
yard?
see you
you'll see
there.
Dex there. All
Okay.
right, Royce
Right.
Unchained.